One of those teams was the New Orleans Saints, who took the Buffalo Bills behind the woodshed for 60 minutes. The unbelievably potent Los Angeles Rams were at it again too, scoring over 30 points for the sixth time this year. And late on Sunday night, the New England Patriots laid waste to a Denver Broncos team that is falling like a rock off a cliff. Other than these two division leaders, however, there wasn't a lot of tremendously excellent football on display from the top teams around the league. Because of this, there were some very interesting developments. These are the biggest winners and losers from the crazy weekend. Winner: are the Saints the best team in football? That might be a bit of a stretch, thanks to the first half the Philadelphia Eagles put together. But it's not a stretch to say the New Orleans Saints are playing some of the best football in the NFL right now. This scribe actually put the Saints on upset alert heading into Week 10 because of Buffalo's defense and running game. I chose poorly. Drew Brees didn't even throw a single touchdown pass, and New Orleans won by the blowout score of 47-10. Mark Ingram rushed for 131 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was a runaway freight train the Bills had no hope of containing. Alvin Kamara was once again brilliant, totaling 138 yards and a touchdown. All told, New Orleans rushed for 6 touchdowns, which is just an embarrassing thing to happen to any defense. But this isn't a brand new development. Ever since the Saints traded Adrian Peterson to the Arizona Cardinals, they've been unstoppable on the ground. And their defense, including 79 yards of garbage time production from Nathan Peterman, the Saints allowed a total of 10 first downs and 198 yards. This is a dangerous team that appears to still be on the upswing. Loser: Vontaze Burfict continues to do Vontaze Burfict things. Stop me if you've heard this riveting tale before. Vontaze Burfict did something completely dumb, selfish, and hurt his team in the process. Oh, you're not shocked? Yeah, neither are we, and fans everywhere collectively rolled their eyes as the Cincinnati Bengals linebacker demonstrably threw the arm of an official away from him as said ref was trying to get him to calm down. Burfict has been fined upwards of $800,000 in his career and still hasn't learned how to behave. He's cost his team wins, including in the playoffs, because of his inability to stay on the right side of the fine line that separates players who are aggressive to those who are just plain dirty. Winner: Brett Hundley bounces back. The Green Bay Packers proved they can win a game without Aaron Rodgers Sunday, as Brett Hundley came through with a very strong performance on the road in Chicago. Hundley went 18 of 25 passing for 212 yards and a gorgeous touchdown throw to Davante Adams. He didn't turn the ball over and also made some plays with his legs. Green Bay's defense shut down Chicago's vaunted rushing attack. And while Mitchell Trubisky had a fine game through the air, he only managed 1 touchdown on busted coverage by the Packers' suspect secondary. We don't expect Green Bay to win enough games to make a playoff run this year without Rodgers. Chicago's been feisty, but isn't a top team either. But at the least, Hundley is getting valuable experience, which will only benefit him in the long run. Loser: Chargers back to their old tricks. Los Angeles had this game in the bag. Seriously. All the Chargers had to do was either gain a first down and run out the clock, or run it down to the final seconds, punt deep into Jacksonville territory and hold serve defensively. Instead, Chargers running back Austin Eckler fumbled on the very first rushing attempt, and Jaguars safety Tashawn Gibson recovered for the Jaguars. Jacksonville went on to win the game in overtime, 2017, after a comedy of errors by both teams ensued. It was the ugliest finish we've seen in a long time, and both teams have reason to be upset about how it all played out. But the real story here is that, once again, Los Angeles choked away a win late. And the team's penchant for doing so is the biggest reason it is 3-6 on the season. Winner: Minnesota's offense was on some kind of roll. Aside from a couple of hiccups in the second half, interceptions on consecutive drives, Case Keenum was tremendous in a big road win for Minnesota against Washington. The backup quarterback passed for 308 yards and 4 touchdowns. He displayed tremendous rapport with receivers Adam Thielen and Stephen Diggs. The two of them caught 12 passes for 244 yards and 2 of the touchdowns. Latavius Murray and Jerick McKinnon combined for 100 yards rushing and a touchdown on 17 carries. So, despite an off day for the Everson Griffin-less defense, the Vikings improved to 7-2 on the season, 2 games ahead of the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers. Another huge bonus to this game was that Teddy Bridgewater was active for the first time in 672 days, which brought a few tears of joy to the young man's eyes. And to ours, as well. Loser, Bengals can't stop the run. It's darn near impossible to win at the NFL level if you can't run the ball offensively, at least when you have to. It's even harder to win at this level when you can't stop the run. Most of the season, the Cincinnati Bengals have been able to stop the run fairly well, entering Week 10 allowing just 3.8 yards per attempt and a total of 3 rushing touchdowns. That didn't happen Sunday on the road against the Tennessee Titans, who ran the ball for a total of 180 yards and 5 yards per carry. DeMarco Murray punched in 2 scores, and he hauled in the game-winning score through the air on the Titans' final drive. On the other side, Cincinnati, which entered the game with the second-worst rushing attack in the league, managed just 53 yards on the ground in this game. If not for some bad defense on the back end by Tennessee, the game would have been more lopsided than it was. Winner, Juju strikes again. The last time we saw the Pittsburgh Steelers in action was in Week 8. Juju Smith-Schuster was the most dynamic player in the game for the Steelers in that game, a win over the Detroit Lions. On Sunday, as the Steelers were on the road against the Indianapolis Colts, he came through again with one of the 2 touchdowns Ben Roethlisberger threw in a 2017 win for Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown was shut down for the most part Sunday. Le'Veon Bell was unable to get much going on the ground. Pittsburgh struggled offensively all game long and was facing a 2-touchdown deficit early in the third quarter. That's when Smith-Schuster stepped up big. After the Colts scored a touchdown on their first second-half possession, the rookie receiver hauled in a magnificent 44-yard pass down the right sideline and capped off the drive with a 7-yard touchdown. That proved to be the spark Pittsburgh needed, along with a timely interception a bit later in the game by linebacker Ryan Shazier that set up the game-tying touchdown and 2-point conversion. Smith-Schuster led Pittsburgh's passing attack with 5 receptions for 97 yards and the touchdown. The Steelers won ugly, but they'll take it to improve to 7-2 on the season. Loser, Texans offense is dead without a QB.